Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Valentin Dish. In a judgment that comes as a massive blow to the Union government, the Supreme Court on Thursday annulled the Electoral bond scheme, saying it violates the constitutional right to freedom of speech and expression as well as the right to information. Calling the 6-year scheme unconstitutional, a 5-judge constitutional bench headed by the Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud directed that the SBI must disclose details of each electoral bond encashed by political parties. The information should include the date of encashment and the denomination of the bonds and to be submitted to the poll panel by March 6th. Watch.
The Supreme Court has struck down the electoral bond scheme, comprehensively struck it down, and all the provisions that were made to bring it into effect in the Income Tax Act, in the Companies Act, etc., everything has been struck down. They have held that this violates the fundamental right to information of citizens to know about who is contributing this much money to political parties, etc. They have also struck down the amendment made which allowed unlimited political contribution being made by companies to political parties. So, not only the electoral bond scheme but also the amendment which removed the restrictions on political contributions by companies, which were that you cannot contribute more than 7.5% of your annual profit by way of political contributions. That has also been struck down as violating the level playing field in a democracy. So the petitions filed by us have been comprehensively allowed by the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court has unanimously struck down the electoral bond amendments. Most importantly, before the scheme, the amendments which were the basis of the scheme have been struck down from different enactments like the Income Tax Act, etc. And the Supreme Court's view was, which is fundamentally they agreed with our submissions, that this is public information is essential for the functioning of a democracy. And therefore the public has a right to know who is funding their political parties. And if the public is denied that right, then that defeats the whole functioning of democracy itself. And therefore the amendments which were introduced to ensure anonymity of the scheme have been struck down. And based on that, consequently, the scheme itself has been struck down. That's number one. Number two, what was that there was the cap, which was the corporate cap, that even loss-making companies could now donate under the electoral bond scheme without any limit. That also has been struck down because the court was of the view that clearly a loss-making company or unlimited corporate funding is not healthy for a democracy, because those kind of donations will be made only for quid pro quo or to get benefit rather than genuine corporate donations for functioning of a democratic setup. So those were the two big findings, but broadly the Supreme Court has agreed with all our prayers.
So we'll get to know the bonding between those who fund it and the politics of the country, and also you will get to know the quid pro quo, because nobody gives these huge amounts of money without a quid pro quo, right? Nobody would give an electoral bond for 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs. It'll be in crores, right? So if you've funded your political party with 5,000 to 6,000 crores, you can imagine only the rich could have done that, and they must have in the process got some favors, and that's exactly what the Supreme Court says, that nobody gives this kind of money without a possible quid pro quo. Now what that quid pro quo is something that needs to be investigated. So I think in a sense this it provides for a level playing field in democracy, right? And it also exposes the BJP to perhaps the biggest, the Prime Minister keeps on saying, where is the scam, where is the scam? Or where it is now, Modi ji, right in front of your eyes, your scam, this government scam, the scam that you used for the purposes of political aggrandizement, the scam that you used for the purposes of persuading people to join you, apart from the ED and apart from the CBI.
In a damning order, the High Court of Bombay at Goa on Wednesday stayed the operation of the illegal circular issued by the Chief Town Planner on December 22nd, 2022, directing the town planning officers to follow outline development plans already withdrawn by the state government. Based on such zoning certificates, the collective planning authorities and the village panchayats were granting construction approvals.
The ODPs of Kalangu Kandolin, Parra, Arpora and Nagova were notified on 15th December 2022. The very next day, the state government issued an order recalling these 5 coastal villages as planning areas. Once an area was withdrawn from a planning area, the ODPs approved for the area lapsed. But on 22nd December 2022, the chief town planner, ostensibly following on a decision taken by the Town and Country Planning Board, chaired by the TCP minister, took a decision to direct the town planning offices to issue zoning certificates in respect of these 5 villages as if the ODPs were still valid in law. Based on this circular, the CTP, Panning, had directed the town planning offices to follow the approved ODPs of these 5 villages for scrutinizing issuing the application for construction, revisions, reconstruction, subdivision of land, zoning, conversion, etc. The High Court prima facie found that no such power is allowed to the board. It therefore stayed the impugned circular and granted interim relief to the petitioners, Goa Foundation and another. For all the above reasons, pending the hearing and final disposal of the petition, the division bench comprising Justice Mahesh Sonak and Justice Valmiki S.A. Menezes granted interim relief, staying the operation of the impugned circular dated 22nd December 2022, and not to issue any further zoning certificates, conversion sanads without verifying the plots zone in the 5 villages. During the hearing, Advocate H.D. Naik, counsel for the NGPDA, submitted that between December 16th and 20th, 2022, the NGPDA had issued 24 zone-changed certificates. Accordingly, the court clarified that based on these 24 zoning certificates, the respondents will not permit any conversion or development to take place, particularly where such conversion or development conflicts with Regional Plan 2021. The court has directed the Chief Town Planner to file an affidavit disclosing full details, including names, of the zoning certificates or technical clearance orders issued based on the impugned circular dated December 22, 2022 within next 4 weeks. Earlier, the Kalangu Kandolin was declared as planning areas in 2015 and the villages of Arpora, Nagova and Para were declared as planning areas in 2017 and were brought under the jurisdiction of North Goa Planning and Development Authority, NGPDA. On 27 April 2022, the ODPs for these 5 villages were suspended because large-scale illegalities were suspected in their preparation and finalization.
The Anjuna panchayat started sealing the illegal structures following the order of the High Court of Bombay. The Anjuna panchayat secretary, block development officer and the police assisted in the process of sealing. The High Court had ordered the sealing of as many as 175 commercial establishments situated on the beach stretch under Anjuna Kaisua Village Panchayat and to file a compliance report within the next 10 days. While hearing a public interest litigation suo motu in the matter of illegal construction, the court asked the Anjuna Kaisua Village Panchayat and the Bardez Block Development Officer to seal these establishments and submit an action report within the next 10 days. Social activist and convener of the Kolwa Civic and Consumer Forum, Judith Almeida, has raised concerns over the prolonged delays in executing demolition orders issued by the Goa Coastal Zone Management Authority. Almeida expressed her frustration, citing the excuse provided by authorities that the Public Works Department lacks specialized machinery and the government has not allocated funds to acquire the necessary equipment. Listen.
In October of 2022, after nearly 12 years of fighting these issues of the CRZ violations in Kolva and Sernabati, the GCZMA finally issued directions to several structures for demolition. Now, many of these structures did not go in an appeal to any of the courts, so the GCZMA's order is now final. From 2022 October till February 2024, None of these structures have been demolished. Neither has the electricity and water been disconnected. The Honorable High Court in a recent order clearly said that all the electricity and water for all the illegal structures should be demolished. This is not for the High Court to tell them. The GCZMA, who is the nodal agency to regulate the CRZ zone, should be more conscious of the fact that these illegal structures are destroying the environment of the Node Development Zone, but is not doing its duty. It is not the duty of the complainant to constantly follow up on these matters, keep writing. I keep reminding them, sending them reminders, but nothing is done. The deputy collector went 3 times to the site to demolish some of these structures, but had to return because the PWD said they have no money, funds. Number 2, they don't have the required equipment. In a state like Goa, which has so much of crores of rupees to spend on consultants and on bombastic so-called infrastructures, these basic things that protect the coast of the state, they do not have the money to do that, to demolish that, to restore the land to its original condition. And we are complaining of erosion of the sea. There is sea level rise. And if the Node Development Zone is being violated so badly, what can the Goans expect that coastal areas will rest? The tourism department should also be extremely conscious. In 2022, when the order was passed against the tourism department to demolish some of the structures, they went and demolished, and all those structures have come up again. Who will take cognizance of this? Is it the duty of the complainant to bring it to the notice of the GCZMA? Is check whether these orders, their orders have been completed, have been honored by these authorities? This is not being done. It is the tourism department who is also to be blamed. So I'm appealing to Mr. Rohan County. If you want tourism to improve in the state of Goa, first clean up your house. Do not think that we are stupid people who are commenting on this. We are talking with facts in our hands.
A fire broke out at 2 kiosks near the Margo Old Fish Market on Thursday morning, causing concerns among locals. The incident occurred around 5 a.m. with flames engulfing the structures. However, prompt action by the fire department averted any casualties or serious damage.
Eyewitnesses reported seeing flames erupting from the kiosk, prompting immediate calls to emergency services. Firefighters swiftly arrived at the scene and worked diligently to extinguish the blaze, preventing it from spreading further. Fortunately, no injuries were reported in the incident. Authorities are currently investigating the cause of the fire and assessing the extent of the damage caused to the kiosk and surrounding areas.
5:30 बजे अंदर चला गया पूरा वो बाहर से नहीं और शॉप गया हाँ सब पूरा गया ना सुबह 5:30 बजे लगा हाँ 5:30 बजे बाद में कितना बजे किया पूरा ये अभी आया तो सर आया था ना पुलिस लोग को पानी गिरने डाला था 6:30 बजे तक इधर आया था वो गाड़ी अभी लेके गया वो किसी को लगा कुछ नहीं हुआ कुछ नहीं कोई नहीं था इधर नहीं इधर कोई भी नहीं अभी उसको फोन कराया था बाद में वो स्टेशन में उधर स्टेशन में गाड़ी आया था बाद में पुलिस गाड़ी आया था बाद में वो बड़ा वाला गाड़ी आया था बाद में बड़ा वाला गाड़ी आके बाद में बुझाया हाँ कितना बजे बुझाया 1 घंटा तक इधर आया था वो हाँ पूरा फुल जल रहा था वो फुल गया ने थैंक यू
Mohit Karangate for Herald TV.
Konkani police seized illegal liquor with an estimated value of 10 lakh rupees in the early hours of Thursday morning in a raid which was conducted at the Marle village, situated in the Kotigaon Wildlife Sanctuary near the Goa-Karnataka border. The swift and well-coordinated operation led to the detention of 8 individuals suspected to be involved in smuggling operations. Additionally, Konkani police seized 2 vehicles believed to be used in the transportation of the illicit liquor. Watch.
So while conducting checking for the on the run-up of the upcoming elections, we found suspicious movement, and our team followed them. And after waiting, we found people carrying handles of some item on them and moving towards the Karnataka border from the Kotigaon early side. So, trying to catch them, we found that they were carrying illegal liquor. So, upon searching, we found illegal liquor store. So, our team seized the entire amount, which is around amounting to around 10 lakh rupees. And now we are going to handle the case.
Tensions flared at the Maduban Circle on Wednesday night as locals obstructed ongoing footpath constructions by the Smart City project after an underground electricity line was damaged by contractors. Locals alleged that encroachment on their property by the Smart City officials for the footpath constructions. Here's more.
Locals expressed outrage when contractors working on the Smart City project damaged an underground electricity line during footpath construction at Maduban Circle, Panjim. They claimed that Smart City officials encroached on their property for the footpath construction. Smart City CEO Sanjit Rodriguez refuted the allegation, asserting that the footpath property belongs to the government and the construction would proceed as planned. The dispute highlights the tension between local residents and Smart City authorities over infrastructure development project in the area.
काल संगीत माझ्याकडे येयलो हिंगात आणि म्हाका म्हणूंक लागलो थंय पासून आपणाक जागो जाय जागो आमचो म्हणूंक लागलो हांव म्हणलें बाबा एक काम करुया हो जागो तुमचो न्हू तुका जागो कितको जाय म्हाका हें दाखय स्मार्ट सिटी कितको पास जाला आनी कशें कितें केलां तें कित्याक कोणाचो जागो हें करता कितें तरी प्लॅन आसतलो न्हू एक्वायर हें केला तो जागो कांय दाखयना तो आनी आतां तो येयला डायरेक्ट पुलीस प्रोटेक्शन घेवन आनी पळय कशें मोडटा तें हो तो बोर्ड पळय म्हाजो 2 लाखाचो बोर्ड पळय ह्या लोकांचें बरें करता स्मार्ट सिटी हो पळय असो बोर्ड बद्री हा दादा कितें तो रावना प्रेस ताका इंचार्ज रावना तो पळयला हे पळय लायट गेली पळय अशें उडयता मोड पळय अशें तुमी आहा पळय फुड्यान हे पळय लायटी बिटी स्मार्ट सिटी अशें बुलडोजर घालता आनी लायटी बिटी उडयता
लास्ट स्ट्रेच जो 100 मिटराचो उरला लेस 100 मिटर्स देर आर मेजर इश्यूज एक म्हणले थोडे एन्क्रोचमेंट आहले वॉल आहले ते काडपाक आशिल्ले एक 2 ट्रीजाचो इशू आयिल्लो ते ट्रीज काडपाचे ना काडपाचे तो एक इशू आयिल्लो मेजर 33 kVA केबल वॉज गोईंग थ्रू द सेंटर ऑफ द रोड तो आमकां पयलो इन्फॉर्मेशन नासलो आतां तो आमकां कळ्ळो तो केबल सायडीक काडपाक मातसो त्रास जालो सो हे जे 100 मिटर आहा तुमी पळोवंक शकता काम सारकें एवरी आवर इज बींग मॉनिटर्ड आनी हें चालूच आहा त्या थोड्या दिसांनी आमचो रोड जातलो क्युरिंगाक आनीक मातसो टायम लागतलो पण काम व्यवस्थीत चलता.
उपेंद्र नायक, Herald TV.
The Perne police apprehended 2 suspects in narcotics drugs cases on Wednesday, 14 February. The arrests were made in Korgaon in Perne, where the suspects were found in possession of approximately 2.5 kilos of ganja, valued at around 2.5 lakh rupees. Investigation of the matter is ongoing.
Perne police apprehended 2 individuals in narcotic drugs case on February 14th. The arrests were made in Korgaon, Perne. The suspects were found in possession of approximately 2.5 kilograms of ganja, valued at rupees 2,50,000. Suspects are identified as Shubham Sharma, 25, from Tuem, and Gopinath Harmalkar, 25, from Morjim. Police have seized scooter along with 2 mobile phones believed to be linked to the illegal activity. An offence under Section 20B of NDPS Act was registered at Perne Police Station. Makbul, Herald TV.
A truck container veered off the national highway at Porskade in Perne, skidding approximately 100 meters away to avoid a potentially fatal collision with an overtaking car. The incident took place at 4 a.m. on Thursday morning, sparking renewed calls from locals for the immediate construction of a flyover to mitigate accidents. Fortunately, no fatalities or injuries were reported in the alarming incident.
According to the truck driver's account, the vehicle was traveling in its designated lane when a car attempted to pass it. In an effort to evade a collision, the truck driver lost control, leading to the veering of the vehicle on the national highway. Locals familiar with the dangerous conditions of the junction assert that previous call for a roundabout or a flyover has been overlooked. Locals demand that a flyover to be constructed immediately to avoid accidents and implementation of traffic personnel to ensure smooth traffic flow.
अपने सेकंड लाइन में चल रहे थे अपने हाँ तो वे कार वाला था एक कार वाला आया हाँ उसने इस कट पे से आया एकदम में निकल कर ओके उसने फिर दारू पी रहा कि क्या उसने खड़े ब्रेक मार दिए तो गाड़ी फिर इतनी भी गाड़ी आ गई थी फिर संभालना भारी पड़ गया हाँ ढाल तो वैसे ही है इस पे तो थोड़ी गाड़ी नहीं सब इस पे उतर गई थी.
कितना बजे वो हुआ?
ये हुआ जी
रात को 4
बजे
4 बजे. आप कहाँ से कहाँ जा रहे थे?
हम दिल्ली जा रहे थे.
हाँ वो पंजिम से आ रहे थे.
हाँ जी.
क्या सामान है अंदर?
अंदर तो उस गोवा से लाए थे जी। बैतूल से पता नहीं क्या माल है, जहाँ पे मोदी उतरा था।
और आपको कुछ हुआ ड्राइवर को?
अपना कुछ नहीं हुआ।
कितना आदमी थे आप?
आदमी 2 बंदे थे।
2 थे और कुछ नहीं हुआ?
ना कुछ नहीं हुआ।
पुलिस को बताया?
हाँ, पुलिस आ गई थी।
आणि आमची मागणी आहे की नाही उडान पूल सांगलोला असेंब्लीन सुद्धा सरान सांगला प्रवीण आल्लेकरान हे जंक्शन आम्ही त्यांना बंद कर म्हटलेले 2 जंक्शन हे आणि एक वयर एक कंपल्सरी जायच पडटा ते लोकांक कित्याक थिंगाच्यान एक गांव लागी आसा आणि गांवांतून ते 4-5 गांव आहात तांकां एक सर्कल ते जायत ताका लागून सरान तांकां उडान पूल हेतून असेंब्लीन तेजी सांगला पूण हे सर्कल बंद करपाक हांव 4 महिने जालो तांच्या फाटल्यान लागला ग्रामसभेचें रेजुलेशन दिला कोलवा वचून तांकां सांगले तो वेणू काय कोण तो आतां चड सुबेस आहा तो चड सुबेस आहा ताका कोणाचो हात आहा आनी कितें आतां आमकां काय खबर ना पूण हांवें हेका सरकाराक लागून खूब फावटी आमी ग्रामसभेक इश्यू करून तो रेजुलेशन घेवन ग्रामसभेचें रेजुलेशन दिल्लेलें आहा बॉडी मिटिंगेच्यो हे आतां 15 दिसांनी ते रेजुलेशन ताका दिल्लेलें पूण हेचेर एक्शन आयज मेरेन जायना कांयच जायना कित्याक जायना हे डेली एक्सिडंट जाता म्हयन्याक 2-3 एक्सिडंट आसता ते आनी सद्दां आयचो ह्यो पयलो व्हिडियो न्हू आमी खूब फावटी व्हिडियो हेचेर घातलेले आहात आनी न्यूजार हे घातलेले आहा पूण एक्चुअल हेचेर कांय जायना.
Maqbool for Herald TV.
A truck transporting soft drinks was involved in an accident on the Bamboli highway late Wednesday evening. According to initial reports, the driver lost control of the vehicle, resulting in the accident. Both the driver and the cleaner sustained serious injuries and have been rushed to the Goa Medical College and Hospital for medical attention.
The truck originating from Pune and en route to Verna was on its way from Panjim at the time of the incident. As per sources, the driver lost control of the vehicle, resulting in the accident at Bambolim Highway. Both the driver and the cleaner have been rushed to the Goa Medical College and Hospital for medical treatment. The accident prompted a swift response from local authorities, with police arriving at the scene promptly to conduct an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the crash. Sagun Gowde for Herald TV.
The capacity building training program for public libraries aimed at promoting modern libraries in the states has allocated significant funding to enhance library infrastructure. During the event, Harilal Menon, Senior Professor and Vice Chancellor of Goa University, discussed the impending role of artificial intelligence in replacing human labor in libraries. He emphasized the need for current staff to undergo upskilling to adapt to these technological advancements.
The National Mission for Libraries, in collaboration with the Department of Art and Culture and the Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, organized a capacity building training program for public libraries. Under the National Mission for Libraries, efforts are underway to modernize state and district libraries with substantial financial allocations made for this purpose. Harilal Menon, Senior Professor and Vice Chancellor of Goa University, in his address, highlighted the transformative potential of AI in library operations, suggesting that AI system could eventually replace the traditional librarian roles.
Wherein you know that 2010 had witnessed spectacular inventions. One is IoT, Internet of Things, and then you have AI, artificial intelligence, then you have robotics, then you have drones. But when you look in terms of the library, I tell you, all those who are sitting here, I'll tell you that AI is going to replace you. Of course, you are all permanent staff, there is no problem. But what I'm saying is that those who are working on a contractual basis, I would say that many of the things, AI-based algorithm, once that is there, the robot will be able to do that. I can give you some examples. In fact, AI has, crossed every facets of life, every aspects of life. When I travel a lot across the world. So when I travel, in fact, Singapore is one of the best, the developed nation. So I go for conferences. 10 years back when I traveled, while coming out of the airport, there were 6 policemen to check my, documents. Ticket, then passport, then, the boarding pass, etc., etc. Last year when I left, I realized that I am being hindered or encountered by only one policeman, that is to check my luggage. So I asked myself what happened to remaining 5 policemen. then the answer is that they have been replaced by AI-based algorithm. Imagine that when this is only one case, likewise you have lakhs of airports in the world. So what happened to these policemen? How many people are going to lose jobs? Therefore, what is necessary is that you have to reskill and upskill the existing library staff, like in the case of airport.
The Way of the Cross was observed on top of the hill at Arle, led by the parishioners of Our Lady of Livramento Church, Arle in Raya on Wednesday. Hundreds of devotees participated in the sacred ritual.
Following the Way of Cross, a mass was held at Our Lady of Livramento Church, Arlem on the same day. A devotee expressed the significance of the pilgrimage, highlighting the spiritual journey of climbing the hill and praying the rosary, emphasizing the sacrificial aspect of the experience. The prayers were earnest, seeking blessings for all and the cessation of ailments and conflicts. It's noted that this Way of Cross ceremony marks the first of its kind in Arlem, Goa. Father Ventura Lorenzo, the parish priest of Our Lady of Livramento Church, Arlem, led prayers near the church, while Father Leo Fernandez served as the main celebrant for the Mass. Enasio for Herald TV.
St. Anthony's High School, Galjibag will face off against Government High School, Gawalkola, while St. Anne's Institute, Agonda, will compete against St. Francis High School, Batpal, in the highly anticipated semi-finals of the Kankona Taluka Under-12 Boys Inter-School Football Tournament. The highly anticipated semi-final match is scheduled to take place on February 20th, 2024.
In the recent matches, Government High School secured a 2-0 victory against St. Teresa of Jesus High School with goals from Rohan Jitonkar in the 17th minute and Sankalp Zaronkar in the 32nd minute of the first half and the second halves respectively. Additionally, St. Francis Xavier High School emerged triumphant against Shri Balram Residential High School in a penalty shootout after a goalless full-time match. Noel, Ansh and Shrinesh scored for St. Francis Xavier High School, while Tushar netted a sole goal for the Shri Balram Residential High School, resulting in a 3-1 win for the St. Francis Xavier High School. Enasio for Herald TV.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thanks for watching Herald TV News. For more news and alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.